Hi, Nedra. I wanted to put a little video together for you. I find that it is helpful in just helping you, see everything very clearly. And obviously, here we're in your crawl space. And I remember us talking a little bit about the rim joist, and that's that area there to the right of the screen with the little black patch up there above that sheathing. It's out of view now, but two things there. We want to take that sheathing down, and we also want to make sure we take that insulation down that's up there in that rim joist, and we want to properly seal it and insulate it. And you're going to see what that looks like here soon. And I think I've got a slightly longer video here for you because I really wanted you to just get a feel for a few things here in the crawl space and in your attic spaces. And I'm pretty sure this is that one duct that runs through the bottom of the stairs, it's supply. And I think a lot of that air that we were feeling coming through there is partially because we probably need to seal around that gap where the cut in the stair is for the duct to run through. So a lot of that air was probably coming from the crawl space. But you can see, and as we sort of navigate through here, that there's a good chance that there is some air coming through the duct from the crawl space as well, because these are older ducts, and although they're in pretty good shape, there are a few places where you could see seals and things that weren't looking too good with duct tape. This is, of course, your disconnected kitchen exhaust. And you can kind of see here, I tried to, I kind of knew, but I was just seeing, okay, what's the story? But it's just not, it needs a little love. And I think that there's a few things that we could do there. We could talk about how to fix that. You could see that picture there. And then here, I know that that area sort of on the back side of the house, that's below the kitchen. And I was telling you how that vent is right below the kitchen plumbing, or right aligned with the kitchen plumbing. But I thought maybe it would be good for you to see these photos I took just to see what's going on the other side. And there's no insulation in the rim joist, and the sheathing around the wall there, all that should come down, and you're going to see why here. And then this is, I think, the final shot, and that's that kitchen duct running to the outside, but of course it's disconnected. So here's a space that was similar to yours, and you can see what we did. We put the vapor barrier down. These are before and afters. The plastic sheathing on the ground, and then we add the insulation to the wall, and then you can see the spray foam, the two-part closed cell up at the top at the rim and band joist. And I just find that that's a really good way to finish everything off, and you're familiar, you've seen it across the street. Now here we're going to get into that top attic area, and we talked a little bit about the storage and the flooring, and all of your flooring is screwed in with screws, so it would be pretty easy just to take it up and sort of put it into one place, and then that way we can work around and underneath of it. And just a few places around your attic that I wanted to highlight for you. Anytime you have a duct penetration through a ceiling, you just want to make sure we seal around that area, because it's the same theme all the way through. Any type of penetration through the ceiling needs to be sealed because air will flow through. Here, we talked a little bit about your exhaust fan. I wanted you to see, what's going on firsthand. It's not terrible, but yeah, it's probably a little long and windy, and we could make it a little straighter and probably work it out a little better. I wanted to show you, by the way, what a bath fan looks like when we air seal it, because as we were just discussing, or I was saying, that, any type of crack or penetration through that ceiling we want to seal, and that's what something like that looks like around a bath fan. And slowly moving along here, we want to also make sure that we seal around all of the different electrical penetrations, fixtures, and you also have wiring, like that's a fixture there. And there's also wiring going down to the top, through the top of a wall, down to the switches. So this is what something like that looks like. Your house is a little older, but so things look a little different, but it's all the same. And you can see how Yvonne is covering those cracks and crevices, and he's filling in those electrical wiring holes with the foam so that air doesn't float up through the wall and escape in that area. Here we may have touched on this. I may have forgot to the pull. Yes, we did. I think the tent, the attic tent, or the insulation for the pull down stair cover. Sorry. You could see here we zip it open to get up there. And what we like about this one, it has a nice little pouch there. We could put some insulation in there just to kind of keep everything flowing nicely in terms of ceiling and insulation, all in the same spots. And this is that lower attic here, so I just wanted to make sure that you got your bearings here, and maybe I let this run just a tad bit long. I apologize, but I'm going to hop in here in a second. And I was looking here because I saw a lot of dirt and dust, but I was going to let this one play a little bit too, but I think maybe that's all just roofing debris. That doesn't look like mouse droppings, even though, it could be, there could be a one or two in there somewhere. But just to address that, like I said, just going through the videos and going through your attic, that didn't really occur to me just as a subconscious thought that you had a mouse problem. But it's not to say that maybe there aren't mice somewhere in, or there's mouse droppings somewhere. And I did a Google search for you. Cellulose insulation, which is what I recommend, is made of recycled ground up paper. It has boric acid, and it's used to control and keep out insects and other pests. It's also fire resistant, and you probably noticed there that rodents generally don't like cellulose. Back to it here, this is a recessed light, and you could just see where I'm pointing there that they cut the hole. And I wanted to show you what we do with the recessed lights. We cover them and seal them so that, again, you don't have air communication between the attic and the house. But you could see here, things are just a little bit discombobulated. We talked about that. So I was going to say maybe get a little insulation out of there. Not that I want you to pay any extra, but maybe just a little extra to get some of that out of there so that we can add this cellulose. And then this is that shot I want to show you. That's probably the majority of what your lower attic looks like underneath all of that mess. So what I'm going to do is follow up here in a day or two with your reports and some pricing on this, and we can kind of dice through and see what makes sense for you. Thanks for watching.